Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie, I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 31st of August at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, or watching an archive or a replay after the fact, welcome. I'm glad to have everyone here. Oh, housekeeping stuff. We are over in the chat room. You can find us by heading over to 12radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. Scott will gladly let you in the door. And over in the chat room, you should see my banner at the top of the page. And we are chatting over there. So you're welcome to come over there and join the conversation. You can also watch this as a live stream. And if you'd like to do that, just head over to either YouTube or Facebook and look for Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. And you can watch the live stream rather than listen if you choose. So that's what's up. How is everybody? What kind of week are we having? A little different energy. Yeah, thank you, Sid. She said there's 5 Tuesdays this week, and we listeners reap the benefits. How fun. Well, so did I. I love it. Oh, I'm just so glad to be here with you guys. I feel like this is my rest. I have I have worked so hard this morning. It's not even funny. We are taking Mars to college this week. So lots and lots and lots to do. And well, that's what we're doing. It's crazy, crazy. But it's good. We're just working on getting, everything together that we need to do to be able to get in the car. And there is a lot of it. But, that's what it's like when you're moving out of your house, your bedroom, all your stuff. So I think we're actually nearly there. She's done a good job of kind of working all summer towards being ready to pack up and go, which has definitely been helpful. So it's all good. But I've also been working on a blanket for her that I'm going to sublimate on. And at first I thought I'd just, press a few pictures into the center, and mostly it's a white kind of fuzzy blanket. But I had asked family members, hey, send over any pictures that you want to put on Mars's blanket, pictures with you or of your families or whatever. Okay, so now a 50 by 70 inch blanket is getting 100% covered. So 20 pages of 8.5 by 14 sheets of sub paper are, currently being printed so I can press them to her blanket. It's going to be really cute. So I'm sure I'll share some pictures of it on Facebook, but I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be darling and just perfect for her to take with. I also made her a pillow of her dog. One of her worries has been that she sleeps with her dog every night. And it's going to be a new experience to not be sleeping with little Blue. So I made her a pillow with little Blue's picture on it so that she'd at least have that. So little Blue is our Basset Corgi mix. And Blue doesn't normally get to go in the car because she sheds like nobody's business. But we worked out a compromise because Mars said, I am not going that far away to college unless when you come to visit me, you bring my dog so that I can see her, which isn't unreasonable. We always travel with our Chihuahuas. So we ordered little Blue. You guys will die. Poor Blue. We ordered her an anti-shedding suit that is kind of like a morph suit for dogs. I'll share a picture. I already put this on Facebook the other day, but this is little Blue. So it covers all the way down to her paws, and it actually unzips in the back so that you can just pull the back legs off and tie it around her waist so that she can get out and go potty. But the hope is that that'll cut the shedding down in the car. We'll see. It's not her fault. She just has, her daddy's a corgi, man. And she has that corgi undercoat and she sheds like nobody's business. But We'll see. I think more than anything, she's just going to be really excited that she gets to come. So I hope she is. Poor Blue. The things this dog puts up with, right? Oh, crazy lady. She does have some claws, Lillian. Yes, she does. She gets extremely offended by having her toenails done, and so it takes quite the negotiation to get them done at all. But that's also that basset hound in her. Such an interesting mix, the corgi basset. She is such a good dog, but she definitely has some quirks of both. She is as stubborn as a basset hound is, but also as energetic as a corgi is. And so basically, you're constantly negotiating with her. Every basset I've ever had or known, when they want you to pet them, they take those enormous claws and they'll just scratch the hell out of you until you pet them. And her mama did that. Her aunt, corgis are so stubborn. Her aunt that is my sister's dog. So we bought these two basset hound puppies many years ago, like 15 years ago. I bought one and my mom bought one. And mine was, her name was Harley, and she was this butterscotch colored, absolutely perfect specimen of a basset hound. She was beautiful. The vet said, "Are you going to show her?" And I was like, "Oh, no, my, my dogs aren't that disciplined." And he said, "She is a show quality." Anyway, I always hung my hat on that. She was beautiful. And then her sister, Freckles, another absolutely gorgeous little basset. Well, then, of course, as you know, my parents died, and both of their dogs needed a home. And my sister Kara took both of them. There was a long haired dachshund named Roxy, who was quite old. And then Freckles, who wasn't very old, was only about 5 when they died. And so, when mom died, but at any rate, so she's had them all these years. Well, I Harley, our basset, died 2 years ago, but we also had her daughter, Little Blue. So anyway, we've had kind of this whole family of bassets in our lives for a long time. But oh man, when they want something from you, they will get it, and usually by pain. These jerks. But we love them. It's what we put up with, right? Anyway, so at least she gets to come. I know some people thought on Facebook I was being a little mean to her by making her wear the doggy suit, but we've been practicing with it. We put it on and then we go take a little ride in the car so that she knows that when she puts it on, she gets to go. So we'll see. She's never really traveled like this with us before, and it's a 7-hour drive. So send, I don't know, doggy snacks, I guess. Anyway, I am so excited for what we're going to do today. And well, I guess let's do our regular stuff and then we'll get into it. But we're going to be playing with the Ogham staves. If you're not familiar with them, it's a form of divination, a really ancient one. This is what staves look like. I'm going to put a picture in the chat room too, but this is your heads up if you're listening and you want to go look up the Ogham. It's Ogham. And every time I open my drawer to pull some cards out to decide what I'm going to do on the show for the last few weeks, the staves just keep jumping out at me. So I decided this is the week. We are doing staves today. So before we do that, though, let's do all of our regularly programmed our regular segments. So I'm going to put a link in the chat room to Luminous. Luminous is the magazine that I publish with some help from my friends, and I would love to share it with you. You can also find it over at katie-weaver.com, just clicking on the Luminous magazine button. But let's go take a look. I'm going to share the screen here in the chat or in the live stream. There we go. Okay. All right. So just a little magical cover. I really had to hold myself back. I was very tempted to go ahead and do a fall cover. It is August 31st. It is getting really cool at night. The leaves are definitely not changing yet, but a girl can dream, can't she? I decided not this week. I'll hold off till next week, and then we're going to hit fall so full force that you'll be able to taste the pumpkin spice. Okay. All righty. I called the magazine this week the Shine Edition because it's an interesting thing with the Daily Dish this week. I keep picking up this undercurrent of self doubt that people are kind of feeling that self doubt more acutely and then kind of blasting through that and finding ways to power beyond it, which I think is pretty cool. I think both facets of that are pretty cool. So I thought maybe it would be a good thing, yikes, to put a little focus on that. So this is the Shine edition because you got to shine. We need you. We need your voice. We need your energy. And we need you to believe in you. I need you to know that you are a wise one. You are a sage. You are someone who has something powerful to share. You might not know it. You might not believe me, but it's true. Everyone does. Sometimes you just have to give yourself permission, you know? All right. In my musings, I shared a meme or a postcard. Let's call it a postcard. This is actually on Mars's blanket that I'm making for her today. This is one of my favorite quotes. It actually is from an email and it comes from Winnie the Pooh. Always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. I think we all need to remember that from time to time. Alrighty, moving on to bitch scopes for this week, thanks to Kelly McLean and all of her hard work. Let's see what today is all about. Today is the 31st. Sun quincunx Saturn, a divide between what you want to do and your responsibilities and obligations. One of those days where you want to slough school, play hooky, call in sick. Got it. Those dishes can wait, right? Sometimes we just really need some fun. Alrighty, let's read. Let's look at Scorpio's scope. Your 11th and 5th house axis is activated this week. The new moon and Mars will be in your 11th house of friends, hopes, and dreams, while Neptune will be in a great placement in the 5th house of creativity. It is probably high time you did something fun with your friends. Vesta will be in your 12th house of shadows, so pay attention to your dreams and spiritual practice. If you find yourself feeling judgy of yourself or questioning your value, remind yourself that this is temporary. Lean on your friends, and if necessary, use the new moon to manifest new connection. Awesome. I love that for Scorpio, and it cracks me up because it would be time to do things with your friends. And Mars is a Scorpio, and she's been so bummed this week because all of her friends have COVID. So she has been unable to hang out with her friends in more than a week. And her very dear friend Brooke is actually really sick. We have been every night driving up to her house with a treat or a snack or a request and leaving it on the steps for her. But she told me last night she stands on the steps and we sit in the car and talk to her on the phone so that there's no chance of contamination on our part. What a crisis it would be for Mars to end up getting COVID right now. But anyway, she told me last night, she said, I feel like I have 100 people standing on my chest. Yeah, she's way sick. So lots and lots of love to Brooke. And now her mom is showing some signs of having COVID too. And she is in a very high risk category. So lots and lots of love to Brooke and her mom and her grandma that lives with them, who's also very high risk. The whole thing is just really concerning. Yep. But freaking COVID, man. Anyway, so yes, so poor Mars. She's mostly just been hanging out with us We ran an errand a couple of nights ago. When we got home from the store, I started to get out of the car and she stayed. And I said, "Are you getting out of the car?" And she said, "No, I'm going to stay in here for a while. I need a break from you guys." Got it. Okay. See, she's ready. I get it. I get it. I didn't want to hurt her feelings and tell her I could use a break from her too, but it sucks when your parents are the only people that can hang out with you currently. And of course, her siblings are now living together in Boise and working at the same place and going to the same school. They have a lot of the same friends and they are having the time of their lives. And she's stuck here with, in this pretty podunk town with her COVID friends and nothing to do. So poor Mars. I don't know. I think it was a great move on the universe's part because, man, she's ready to go. Luckily, she has had the opportunity this summer to already meet several of her teammates, her softball team for her college team for the fall and and winter. But at any rate, she's already gotten to hang out with some of them. One of them actually, Alex, played with us several times this summer, and her roommate is she's had constant contact with her on Snapchat for like 3 months. And they're great friends. So they haven't met in person and won't until Thursday, but I love that they've had this opportunity to get to know each other before they show up to school so that there's a lot less jitters there. Plus, they've been able to work out a lot of the bugs like I bring the microwave and you'll bring the refrigerator, or I bring you know, the rug and you bring the vacuum or whatever. But they've done that so they don't end up with a lot of duplicates. So anyway, pretty cool. Alrighty. Well, the tip of the week this week are affirmations to move through fear. Because again, this week feels weird in that we have a real lack of confidence that we punch up and actually jump in as advocates. Advocates, that's not the word I wanted. Advocates is good, but activists as well. Lots of powerful stuff happening. I am growing in confidence each and every day. My goals are stronger than my doubts. I am strong, independent, and courageous. I love it. All righty. All right. The card from the Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck this week is the Solar Plexus card. Self worth, identity, personal power. I guess Christy and I were totally on the same page with this one. The Magic Monday message from Melissa is life is pure adventure. And poor Melissa, you guys, a lot of you guys are friends with her and have been in her postcards from the universe group. Her Facebook page has been stolen. Her Facebook page got hacked and shut down. And she has spent the last week and a half trying to get Facebook to help her to restore it and return it to her without any luck so far. So, holding a lot of space that Melissa gets her account back. It's a huge kick in the face. All of her work is there, and all of the clientele that she's built, and from her podcast and her radio shows and her books and everything, and it really sucks. So, really hoping for Melissa's sake that she gets it back. But also, if you are friends with her and you're wondering where the heck she went or where her group went, that's where. So we'll keep holding space with her that it gets worked out. All right. The stone this week is yellow jasper, supports joy. All right. And true crime paranormal. I have a podcast with Christy where we do a lot of true crime and psychic work. This week, so far, we have 2 cases out. We did a case study of 3 different missing or murdered Indigenous women cases. Wilhelmina, Jennifer, and Rhea. And we also did John of God. Oh, you guys, this is such a big one. And I think that a lot of our just like true crimey listeners really don't get it, They don't understand why it's such a big deal because perhaps they aren't that familiar with John of God. But a lot of people in the New Age community are, right? And a lot of people really believed in him. My God, he's literally had millions upon millions of people visit him in Brazil for his healing skills. And which is amazing. And he has created a lot of miracles. I mean, he wasn't just a charlatan or anything, he was an amazing healer. Unfortunately, he was also a sexual predator. And the same people that sometimes he was supposed to be giving a healing to, he was sexually assaulting behind closed doors. And he's now in prison. He was charged in 2018. He went to prison in 2019. He'll be in prison for, well, 64 years, so life at his age. And there are over 600 women now who have brought a claim against him, including his own daughter. It's very sad. It's extremely frustrating and disappointing that someone with his gifts and skills and in his place of power and authority over others would ever do such a thing. But we did a whole study on it. So if you're interested in it, you can find that over at True Crime Paranormal. Uh, that's quite the case. I have two crystals that were blessed by him. They're getting really cleared. Anyway, it's not their fault, so I don't want to throw them away, but God damn it. Okay. Then we have Anita and the Masters, and she brings us this week Mother Teresa. So you can read more about that there. And then, of course, Jamie Dawn has a new Celestial Wisdom video. So much good stuff, you guys. So hopefully you find something in Luminous that is of use to you and will help you throughout this week. Yeah. Jane said she always got an odd vibe from him. God, it's such a sad deal. Oh, Oprah visited him twice. She went there and then she brought him here. Uh, Bill Clinton had healings from him. Wayne Dyer had cured his leukemia through healings from him, or believed that he did. Like there was so much, yeah, yeah, so much good there, and yet he was not good. I think it's a good reminder that just because somebody is gifted doesn't mean they're a good person. I hear this from people like that go to like people that cast spells and stuff like that for things that they need or want, and then that person ends up defrauding them. And the crazy thing is, they weren't total frauds, and that's how they get people, right? They are using their gifts. They do, not always, I'm sure, but a lot of times they really do have some psychic gifts or some healing gifts, and so people do believe in them. With John of God, he would they he'd go into a closed door with a woman and sexually assault her and tell her that it was a part of the healing. And if she wanted the healing work to be completed, then she would just, allow it. Uh, and a lot of his healing was done by proxy. So say you're have a parent that's too ill to travel, so you go to Brazil and have the healing in their place. Not so unheard of in the energy work world, right? Well, it is when John of God is raping you and telling you that you're going to have to just allow it if you want your mother to get better. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Or how about someone wanting to know why there was semen on them and he told them it was ectoplasm? Yeah, I could go on and on. You probably don't want me to. It's fine. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Quelly said, why do people who think they are powerful always think they can in some way abuse others? Same with Yogi Bahan. Yeah. And also the Bikram yoga guy. We're going to do a study on him in a week or two. But there's been lots of that. And that's not even to, tap the surface of religions that are full of sex offenders. So, boo. Anyway, so that's luminous. I know, such fun topics, but we can't shy away from them, right? If we're not willing to talk about the hard stuff, who is? And we have to stop being too afraid or polite or squeamish to talk about the hard stuff where it just keeps on happening. So, yep, We have to be brave enough to do it and tough enough to do it. Yep. Brooke said, "Is it mostly men?" Yeah, it is. Women tend to abuse their power in other ways. No, you're not being sexist. It's true. I know. I've shied away from that too because I don't want to come across as being sexist. But the truth is, it seems that men abuse their power through sex. Women are more likely to abuse their power through money. But which is not to say that there are not female sex offenders. There certainly are. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Chris said he was in Brazil and knew people who were healed by John of God. They were beyond heartbroken when the story about him came out. Oh, I know. Horrifying. Horrifying. There was another allegation against him that he was involved with a baby farm, but that's never actually been investigated or there have been no charges. And so I'm hesitant to do a full investigation or, to bring it up because it, I don't know. There was a video that broke with a girl who said that she had just uncovered this whole baby farming operation that was happening in Brazil and by John of God and some of his acolytes. And she died a month later. Or did she? There's a big thing about that she killed herself, or perhaps she was an activist. She was like a Me Too activist in Brazil, but that he and Mother Teresa were trafficking children. That was the story. That was the story. But I have done a ton of research this weekend over that because that's what I had heard too, Chris, and I can't corroborate that. And so that was the story. I'm not going to say it did or didn't happen. That baby farming does happen. Uh, Essentially, they will take young women and keep getting them pregnant. And then when their babies are born, they sell them to adoption agencies abroad. And, or maybe abroad, maybe not. But that does happen. That is a form of sex trafficking. However, the John of God one, I don't know. The more I investigated it, the more I decided I wasn't convinced that was actually true. And it's not been, he's not been charged. It's not been, that has not had a serious look by the prosecutor, and the prosecutor's been out for blood. So I feel like maybe we'll hear more about it down the road. Maybe she's just so buried in 600 women bringing forward some claims against him that she hasn't gotten there yet. I don't know. We'll see. Terrible thing. Anyway, all righty. Well, I really wanted to drum for you guys this week. I feel like we could all use it. Everybody's just feeling a little slimed by the events of the world right now in so many different capacities. And then, of course, now we had to have a hurricane to add to it, right? Now we can heal the prisoners. There you go, Lioness. Or Morleen, sorry. There you go. Yep. Yeah, he makes Harvey Weinstein look like a Boy Scout. Yeah, no kidding, Sid. No kidding. All right, so let's drum. I have to talk to you guys a little bit about drumming. It's an interesting, I'm going through an interesting little evolution of myself. A lot of tradition that I've been taught in, some of it's Native American, some of it's not, but is practiced in Native America. I've been acutely aware of the challenges with not wanting to run away with someone else's culture, religion, spirituality. I think on both sides of the aisle we get a little lax, and I want to be very sensitive to that. And so I've really been evaluating, why do I do the things I do? Who taught me to do the things that I do? Is it okay, the things that I do? And drumming has been an interesting one for me because I've always been really drawn to drumming. I had a friend who taught Reiki drumming. And essentially, it's the idea of running energy from your hand through your mallet, through your drum that amplifies it, manyfold. And it's a really powerful form of healing. And that's how I first got into drumming, was through learning Reiki drumming from my friend Ty. Uh, and of course, drumming is an important part of Native American culture. I, and I don't want to be gross about that, right? I don't want to take someone else's culture and claim it to be mine. I was raised to believe that I have Native American blood, but I actually don't, according to having my DNA examined, which was a surprise. And I don't know, I wasn't sure how to feel about that because I do feel very entwined with Native American culture, but that's fine. Or it's whatever. Uh, at any rate, but so drumming has been kind of challenging for me because I don't want to be in that place. However, I felt really, really drawn to drumming. I felt a real kinship with drumming. Drumming has meant a lot to me. But I have been really working on studying my own ancestry. My ancestry is Celtic. My ancestry is Druid. My ancestry is Scottish. And what I've learned is that drumming was also an important part of many of those cultures. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to drumming and to the energy of the drum and using drumming for energy work. So I don't know if that is something that you needed to hear or not, but it's something that I needed to hear and to understand why I'm drawn to this work and why I'm doing it, you know, and to just be clean with my energy and with my intentions and the stuff that I do and the stuff that I teach. So, anyway, I know, boring, but drumming is human. You're right, Brooke. Drumming is actually present in nearly every ancient culture since time immemorial and right up to modern day. So I brought my drum. And what I would like to do is just drum for a clear and a reset. I'm going to drum for 3 or 4 minutes or so. I just want you guys to breathe with me. I want you to allow the frequency of the drum to clear out anything you're carrying that you don't need anymore, to shake that aura loose of all of the psychic debris you've picked up, to remove any energy that's not yours, that it could be holding you back or holding you down. Just breathe with the drum. I'm going to tell you that drumming is an interesting phenomena. When you first start hearing the drum, some people, it puts you into a fight or flight mode. And if you just can't do it and you've got to turn it down or turn it off, that's fine. I get it. I'm not here to, you know, give you an anxiety attack. So, so don't let me hurt you. But if you can breathe through it and get to that place where you can allow that frequency to move through you, it's pretty amazing. The other thing I hear from people a lot is they hear things sometimes in the drum. As you're drumming, if you can get through that, fight or flight or panic place, sometimes you will hear something coming through the drum, a chanting, a singing, voice, things like that. So anyway, see what you hear. But you guys just relax. Take a few deep breaths. This is a deer hide drum that my dad bought for me. Alrighty, here we go. do? Were you able to stay with me? I hope so, but I get it. I promise. No judgment here. Ooh, it felt good to me. A lot of energy in my head with that. As soon as I started drumming, I felt this shift start to just kind of trickle down me. So obviously, I was storing a little, probably more in my crown than I needed, but that feels really, really good. So if you are interested in drumming yourself, you can do a few things. You can buy kits to make your own drum, which is really fun, and you might consider doing that if you really want to get hands on. You can also just order a drum. Of course, you can order drums that are made from leather, but you can also order drums that are synthetic if you are not interested in having any, uh, animal products. That's okay too. You don't have to. You can just drum like that. I have friends that when they are like working on someone else's behalf or meditating or something, they pound their drums. For example, like maybe, well, okay, so like I told you about Mars's sick friend. So if you were going to do a healing on her behalf, you would pound your drum while you thought about her. Or you might play along with music. You can play any kind of music that you think is amazing, but I have led drum circles before where we just drum to contemporary music. It doesn't have to be some kind of like Celtic or Native American or music like that, though it can be if that's what you resonate with. But my students were pretty amazed if I discover how much energy there was, how energizing it was to drum to more modern songs that they knew too. So this is a good time to start thinking about, this fall. What kind of energy do you want to bring in? What kind of work do you want to do? Consider a drum if you don't have one. It's a pretty cool experience to have them. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, what is with that squeaky door? People are always opening it around here. Definitely need some oil. Brooke said that felt amazing. Cobwebs gone. Lillian said, I love the drumming. Oh, Tara bought a drum at the Oregon County Fair. Nice. I love it. Well, there you go. So, shall we talk about the Ogum? Now, again, I told you I'm trying to sink into my ancestral roots a little bit. Really feeling drawn to that recently. And not just recently, actually, for a long time. But I was thinking about how much lighter I would feel, or more in connection with my own spirituality, I might feel if I had a little bit more of a connection to the ancient ways of the people I hail from, right? So, anyway, the Ogum. I've had these staves for years and years. I bought them at this really cool witchy store in Boise. And what they are, I posted a picture in the chat room, but what they are is they are sticks that are wood burned into or engraved into with all of these different symbols. So the Celtic Ogam alphabet, there's a lot of argument about where it really came from. Most experts agree that it's Celtic or even pre-Celtic, and that the Ogam essentially is a tree alphabet. Why was it developed? That's the big question. Some scholars really believe that the Ogam was developed as kind of a secret code by the Druids to be able to communicate without the prying eyes of the Romans. Not everyone agrees with that, but some do. But at any rate, it is every symbol represents a different tree. And then, of course, that has all been gathered up and turned into, at some time along the way, a whole symbol of divination as well. And so this is how we're going to use it. So yes, every letter is could be made from a different tree, or just every symbol means a different tree. So I wish I had access to that many different kinds of trees. So I didn't make this set, I purchased it, but again, I've had this for a really long time. So it's a lot like rune casting the way you use them. Now, again, a lot of different opinions about how the Ogham staves should be used as well. And so mine are just kept in a very dirty bag, apparently. That's embarrassing. I need to make a new bag. Uh, yeah, mine are just in a cloth bag. And so it's a lot like with runes. Typically, you reach inside to your staves as you're asking your question, and then you pull them out, and then you take a look at that. So, is Scott making witches runes this season? I will. I'm planning on it. Yep, next week actually, because my studio is all redone and reset. You guys, it is so good. We totally tore my whole art studio apart this weekend, removed everything from it, repainted the floor in there, uh, put new shelves in, put it all back together, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. Yeah. So yes, definitely, Brooke, that will be happening. All right. So to start with our staves, let's just pull general stave for what. Let's just ask what we need to know this week, or what actions we might need to take. So we'll pull three. So we're going to pull essentially situation, action, and outcome. And then definitely I do have to use the book because I don't have these guys memorized, but I do think they're fun and interesting to play with. So that's why I'm sharing them with you. So here's the first rune or stave, sorry. Here's the first symbol. So let's find out what it is and what it means, and then we will get moving. All right, so this has 4 lines. Are they straight lines? Yeah, they're straight lines. Okay, so that is the quert or apple. Choosing that which is beneficial, love affairs, beauty, healing, nourishment, living fully. Choice must be made to end procrastination. So, how does that apply to us? To us, I feel like that applies by with a big reminder, right? To use the good towels, to drink the good wine, to appreciate the beauty in your life, and stop waiting for a specialer occasion to be happy or to nurture yourself or to do the things that make you feel good. All right, the second rune, 2, 3, 4 lines. This is the blackthorn. This is what it looks like. Fate, wheel of fortune, trials and tribulations lead to change, true liberation, and rebirth. So, this is one of those times when, as change comes forward, resist the urge to fight it, right? Don't fight change, let it come, have at it. What you don't want to do is fight against the change that's trying to come forward in your life because you get scared. We're really, really bad for this. We ask for change, and then when it comes, we go, oh God, no, never mind. I changed my mind. I don't want change. That feels scary to me. Make it stop, right? And I get this from clients a lot that go, why is this happening? And they say, wait a minute, didn't you want a new job? Well, yeah, but okay, well, your new job is coming, right? Sometimes like it or not. Uh, but this week, I think don't reach out and grab it and pull it back. If the wheels of change start turning, let them turn, come what may. You're safe. You're okay, and you are capable of taking care of yourself and getting the things that you need. So let's let it happen and celebrate it. Okay, here's our last rune, and this is the gorse, or own is the OHN is the name of the stave. Increase of material possessions, sexual energy, repelling of negative energy. Continue on towards your goal. Interesting. So that really ties in with the last one of, you know, good things are happening, wheels are turning, good things are coming. So don't get freaked out in the process. Don't let change scare you too much. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable because there is some good happening here. You're just going to have to be a little uncomfy in the meantime. Yeah. Oh, Sarah said, I've been feeling drawn to learning more about my ancestors for a while now. I have been exploring what I can do to become closer to them. I'm torn on where to start with all of the options before me. Could you help point me in the right direction? Sarah, I have a few thoughts on that. I mean, the first is pretty basic, just meditation and asking, you know, what ancestors want to connect. Part of it is like literally looking through your genealogy. I think it's pretty fascinating to go to places like Family Search and look through what genealogy's been done. Now, I'm dang lucky because mine's been done. Right? I hail from Mormons, right? And they're huge on genealogy. So on all sides of my family, my genealogy has been done for many centuries. Not everybody has that luxury, I know, but that's a good place to start. The other one is if you haven't, if you're comfortable doing it, do your DNA. Go do 23andMe or Ancestry and take a look at is uh, what is your ancestry, because you might be surprised. For me, I was surprised by, I always knew that I was like English and German, but wow, my ancestors were in England the same time that Stonehenge was being built. Wow, did that resonate with me? There were a lot of things there that were interesting to see. That piece of lacking piece of Native American ancestry was surprising to me as well, but I learned something interesting. Apparently, it used to be somehow, I'm going to say in fashion, though I think that's a terrible term for this, to say that you were uh, hailed from like a Native American princess or something. I know. So I'm guessing that's where that came from because my grandpa always told us that we had Native American ancestry, and I'm guessing that's where that came from. But anyway, whatever. I'm not salty. Yes, I am. It's fine. It's whatever. But those are two places, Sarah, that I would suggest starting. And then by finding some books that really resonate with you in the process. Does that answer your question? I hope it does. Okay, let's see. Yes, so Brooke is now in the throes of cleaning up from Hurricane Ida. She said it was so pure and clearing. She said, not to make light of the damage, we are all in cleanup mode and the community is healing. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are okay. I know that was, had to have been really scary, throughout the process. And definitely so much love to everybody who are now cleaning up and have been affected by Ida. Yeah. Maybe a prior life. Jane says, oh, yeah, I have a bunch of Native American lives. Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah. All right, Mary. Mary said, just joining in after a 2-hour wait at Home Depot. Well, I'm glad you are here. Yeah. 23andMe is suspect. You know what I did with 23andMe? Because you can take your profile from them and then send it to other places that will like do a deeper analysis. And that's what I did so that you can, because they only go so far anyway. Yeah. One example is when twins sent in the sample and got completely different results. Oh, yeah. You know. But that's what I did with mine is I sent it to another company that actually went way deeper, which was pretty interesting. Yeah. However, I will say 23andMe definitely keyed in on relatives like crazy. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, and then, and people get nervous that the government's looking at their DNA. They can't legally let the government see your DNA unless you allow them to, which is a really interesting thing that's happening right now because people who are allowing their DNA into the system, uh, all of these crimes from the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s are suddenly, able to be solved with DNA and genealogical DNA matching. It is amazing. Amazing. Christy and I do one case a week of, we call it our DNA for the wind, or for the win segment. And it's about these cases that happened so long ago, but there's still evidence on file, and they're finally able to go back and look at the DNA and sometimes track down like a family member, and finally they can narrow it down to the culprit. And a lot of the culprits are dead. There are a lot of them are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, but they are actually still able to solve some crimes this way. It is, it's amazing. And of course, connect families and things like that too. But I know not all of you are sold on DNA, and that's okay. You do not have to be. Maureen said, "Oh, the joys of returning to college." Meg's been back since August 1st. Got a call this AM in panic. Mom, I found a dead worm in my bed. She is a total clean freak, and no one can even go near or sit on her bed. She was freaking out. Any thoughts? It sets the tone of her day. I feel like she ended up with a worm on her that she toted into bed with her. I think it was on her foot. I think she just didn't know it. I don't feel like her bed is infested with anything or, you know, anything too disturbing. I would really assume she won't see another one. I feel like she'll be okay. Yep. Yep. All righty. Well, you know how it is. We have talked down to the end of the show. So, you guys, please be well. Take good care of yourselves. Let me know if I can help you. Don't forget, I am a professional psychic advisor over at one2listen.com, and I'm there every single day. So if you need me, you know where to find me. Thank you so much for being here. This has been another production of One Two Radio. And of course, you've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on One Two Radio, where we are changing the way you listen to the world.